Hi Rohit.
Hi Yash, how are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for coming here.
Not all, pleasure's mine.
And of course, I've known you for a long time.
Donkeys. Yes.
And always been interesting to talk with you.
Yep.
So I thought the next gen will be very inspired to see you, speak to you, and hear your views. More about life and about how one should lead one's life. So I think that's the conversation today. A little deeper than what we talk usually when we meet and chat outside.
I know. When we usually meet, it's kind of very superfluous.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can deep dive today.
Great idea. Love to know you better, bro.
Super.
Fine. I think from whatever I've met you, of course we meet socially, but I've always felt that you have a very nice, deep spiritual side to you. And sometimes that gets missed when you're in the world that you belong to.
Right.
So I would like to hear more about how spirituality came to you and what since then have you done to pursue it in any way which you have chosen to.
I from my childhood, my parents were. So I'd like to say this to Gen Next also, because since you mentioned Gen Next, they confuse religion with spirituality with yantra mantra. Spirituality is not that at all. You know, my parents, right from the very beginning, there used to be puja part in their house. So there was always a kind of a religious fervor. But I never knew the difference between spirituality and religion at that time. Obviously, you grow, you get experience in life, experience of life. In 2010, I think I was going through a really, I won't say dark period, because that's also used very loosely nowadays. I was going through a very, a kind of a struggle between mind and body. I was not keeping well. And I don't have any bad habits, at that time I didn't even drink or smoke. And I just couldn't put a handle onto it, that why was this happening? And I took a brief break for a while, for 6 months. And I started reading a lot of books, not particularly spiritual books, but I started reading a lot. And that was not the time of Instagram and a lot of information. And I went for my first Vipassana course.
Wow.
And everybody who knew me, because that time I was acting on television, on film, I was doing theatre, I was hosting shows. I was hosting every award show, wedding show, this show, live shows. I had my own show on television. And I used to talk a lot. And they said, you will not last for a day, because Vipassana is not just Mon, it's Arya Mon. I can't even look at you. Because without saying a word, we can communicate, right? So it's called Arya Mon. And I said, no, I have to go. I'm very unsettled. I think that was the beginning. That was the seed which was put into me by Guruji. They also don't preach any kind of spirituality. You said you have to discover it for yourself. But that Arya Mon, that breathing exercise, which is actually Vipassana, is very simple. Meditating all day for 14 hours a day, not talking to anybody. That kind of somewhere started the process. I can't pick a definite point, I've become spiritual. Nothing like that happened. It was not like a eureka moment, but I think that was the beginning of my spiritual journey.
Amazing. So coming to that silence, as you said, I find it also very difficult because I talk a lot.
Right.
So even I did this advanced course of Art of Living. It's a 4-day silence, not 10 days like you.
Yeah.
So it was easier. But honestly, I did find it a little difficult to keep quiet.
You did? Really?
And I also couldn't look at anybody.
Yeah.
But coming to the point, that what do you feel silence can do to your state of mind as soon as you come out of it?
Okay, so two things. When I was in there, the first 2 days were very difficult, extremely difficult, because you're in a small room, you're not communicating with anybody. There are 100 people around you, but you're not even looking at them, so you're kind of focusing. Two things happened to me. After the difficult period, I started talking to myself in my mind. That is the first thing that happens. Your mind, Hindi में बोलते हैं मन बहुत चंचल होता है. Your mind kind of always runs away from the thought that you're thinking. You're meditating and one thought will come and you go there. Then you come back and then you'll go another place. It gave me balance and calm, which I didn't have. Considering the profession I am in, considering the kind of work I was doing at that time, I had zero calm. No chill, bro. That, nowadays people understand that language, no chill. And that kind of gave me a calmness which was unparalleled. It was a detox of the mind. We do so much for our bodies. I go for my panch karma, I do all these water therapies, water fast for 3 days without having any food. That was pure detox of the mind. And I'll tell you an incident which will give your audience a sneak peek into what Vipassana does. When I slept the third night, there were only 4-5 hours that one could sleep. I had to wake up at 4 in the morning for the first meditation session. I could see it. I felt my skull burst. And I could see sewage bursting out of my skull. I could see it. It was like an out of, oh my God, I got goosebumps.
That's like out of body experience.
It was an out of body experience.
Paranormal.
And I could see it, and I'm sleeping, and I'm in the deepest sleep, because 3 to 4 is the Buddh ki dasha, when you're in deep sleep, REM. And I could see skulls falling out of my head, and I could see skulls on the road, and these people who were not good for me, the company I was keeping in those days, which were not. I could clearly see that gentleman driving a jeep, going downhill, and he was cracking skulls as I was going. And in the morning when I woke up, I felt so light, I cannot tell you. Now I cannot describe how this works. I don't know.
It's divine science for you to conduct.
Yeah, it's divine science. Unless you go through it, you do not know what it means. After that, I think after the 4th day onwards, I was so much at peace with myself that I swear by it now. And I tell everybody that if you have not gone for Vipassana, including you, I told you when I was on that side, that you must definitely. But to answer your question, what happens after you come out is very difficult. I didn't feel like talking to my own family. My daughter was very little at that time, and she came to fetch me. And you know, your first reaction of a father is just going crazy with your daughter, right? And I couldn't talk.
So basically it gets you into yourself, to communicate with yourself, and the external world kind of goes into oblivion.
Yeah, it pales in comparison to everything that you've actually felt.
And that's the beauty we talk of within in spirituality, that the best...
That's the best thing.
Company is yourself, and the best solitude to find is within.
Yeah.
And you talked about some negative things in your life which came out as skulls.
Right.
Were you able to disconnect from those?
Completely.
Amazing.
It took me that one night of deep sleep to realize. See, also when we do certain things, you know that those things are not correct for you, right?
Yeah, your conscience always tells you.
And when you're aware of that, you just push it to the back of your head.
Right.
No, it's okay. I'm young, I'm restless, I can do this, I can do that. But any intelligent man or woman will know this is not good for me.
Right.
But you're coming up in life, you're doing well in your profession, and you want to do all that, well, let's not go too deep into all that. But the point is, it was not good for me physically or mentally. And that one night's sleep, when it all came to the fore and it poured out of my system, since that day, I've never ever, I actually feel that, who was that guy?
So it's actually a life transforming incident.
It is.
It's like a turning point.
It is.
You had the willpower to execute what you felt.
And actually it's get easier. A lot of people say, hum log kaise rahenge? Like another friend of mine, I told her to go. She's a model and an actor. Very sweet girl. And I said, you must go. She was also troubled, So we'll come to that. But strangely, I feel people only who are troubled go to Vipassana, which should not be the thing.
No, that's
people
true.
Should go when they are 18, 19, because the major struggle happens in your 20s and 30s. At my age, I've seen it all, I've done it all, I've already got a certain amount of calm. But anyway, this girl, she couldn't stay. The second day she ran away.
Because it needs willpower. No?
Yeah.
You need to be able to have that satisfaction. Yeah. Like I guess children in the exams, you have to study hard, but it needs the satisfaction that you're going to study, give an exam and excel.
Right.
So that's like Vipassana. If you've come in, it may seem difficult, but at the end of it, you feel glorious.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a great sense of contentment, and hats off to you for being able to realize, experience and execute in your life. Yeah. Of course, you talked about fitness in between. As I can appreciate, you were tremendously fit always.
You've inspired me for the last 30 years now.
No, but honestly, so how do you correlate, because for the youth also fitness is important. Then again, there's mind, body, soul connect. There are a lot of mental issues people face these days. Right. I do believe fitness also helps your mental health and makes you think clearer. How would you connect these two?
They are connected like this.
Right.
You see, mental health is it's a very sensitive topic, so I don't want to go too deep into that. A lot of people are born with a little bit of a chemical imbalance. You have to treat that. But otherwise, what the world does to you as you're growing in your profession or your personal life, that it will throw curveballs at you.
Right.
Some people can take it easier, some people can't. In that time, if you're physically fit, healthy, it will affect your mind, and your mind will be stronger in terms of dealing with, I've gone through, everybody thinks of me as, oh, you've done this, you've done that, you've done that. That's all you've seen.
Right.
What you haven't seen is the struggle behind that. And it's a continuous process. The struggle, Amitabh Bachchan said it very nicely, till there are challenges, there is life. Till the day the challenge ends, there is no life. So this challenge is going to go through, and it's very, people used to think of fitness and looking good as vanity. Yeah. It is not vanity. When I wake up in the morning and I look at myself and I feel healthy and I'm glowing and, like you would say, Rohit, you're looking good, it makes a difference to my mental health.
Yeah.
So we are working out for that. We are, I do my Panchakarma and I keep going away for Ayurveda and yoga retreats for that. And you know that better than most people. So I think there's a definite correlation between mind and body. And the soul, it takes, either you're born a yogi or you can go there. I'm walking the path. Actually, very interesting story. I've never told this to anybody on any show. A dear friend of mine, when I was 19, 20, he said, either you'll go mad or you'll become spiritual.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
wow.
He said that. He said, I said, are you drunk? What are you on, man? He said, no, I can see it. Either you'll go towards the spiritual path or you will go mad. Fortunately, I didn't go mad.
Wow. And obviously, you've gone very much ahead in the spiritual path. And I think spiritual journeys, there is no end. It just goes on.
19, you don't even realize what spirituality is.
So, you said an interesting thing that apparently obstacles come and problems come in everyone's life. And it's everybody's, not yours, mine, everybody's.
Everybody.
And a lot of people see obstacles as something which is sad, bad, not to happen. But I guess what we don't realize, and anybody having mental health issues, is that every obstacle is also an opportunity to cross it.
Of course.
And to become stronger. And once you become stronger, then even though similar circumstances come again in life, they don't affect you as deeply as they did.
Right.
And in that way, you move closer to the divinity, which is being at ease and blissful in all states. Right. So I think that's a very nice point you brought across.
The way the way you also put it, it just makes complete sense that you're moving to our end goal. Actually, it's not my end goal. My everyday goal is just to be happy. Right. And to make sure that people around me are happy to be with me. I mean, if I'm a character that kind of ruffles your feathers and you're unhappy being around me, then what have I done in life?
Right. Very true. So yours being a profession where you need to be in front of the camera, and probably play many different roles. A funny guy, a good guy, a dude, a bad guy. You have a personal life, so you have emotions. Suppose you've had some personal life, emotional, unsettling experience just before you go in for a shoot. And then you go in front of the camera and you have to do a scene getting into the role. How would you disconnect what you experienced before what you're in front of the screen? Because usually, this is important for me, because usually what happens, and I'm never in front of the camera, so I don't know how you deal with it. So when you are sad, upset, stressed, that comes into every aspect of your life. Like, I'm going out, I'm not looking so happy. How do you have the willpower to disconnect and come to the moment, which is your role?
So, the one thing that we do have in common, other than our love for life and fitness, is that we both lost our parents at a very young age.
Yeah.
I was 14, 15 when I lost my dad. And right after that, I came away to Bombay. I finished my college and I came to Bombay. And my first audition for my very first show, a show called Swabhiman, which became, which changed the Indian face of television forever. You'll not believe, I got rejected for that show after I tested. And Mahesh Bhatt was looking at some NG takes and he said, "Yeah, who's this boy? Call him." I said, no, he's been rejected by everybody. Shobha has bounced him, etc. He said, "No, just call him back. Give him one soliloquy. One-page soliloquy. I want to see if you can hack it." And believe it or not, it was the scene of me saying something to my father's dead body.
Oh my God.
So that emotion which had stayed, because I was really young, right? That hadn't left me.
Right.
And it was like 3-4 years down the line. The entire emotion came out in that scene. unknowingly.
Oh my God.
Because I was not a trained actor. And when I saw that, Samne body padi hai, and I'm reading that thing out, everything kind of came out. So it's really how you channel your emotions in front of camera. You don't always have to switch off. There are certain times when it doesn't matter to me. If I'm going playing a bad boy, I mean, in Kabul, I play a really negative character. First time in my life, I played a rapist.
Yeah.
You know, who rapes a blind girl. I mean, so you can't prep for that. You know, so you go, I'm switch on and switch off then. It doesn't matter what I faced in the morning. I'm married, so wife will do kit in the morning before leaving, as all wives do. And I walk out, and the moment I'm in the car, we are talking again. You know, these are things which life kind of throws at you. But when I go to the set, and the moment the camera is on, I can switch on from where I'd left off. So for me, that's why when I read these new articles about these new actors saying that I went and lived in a cave for 30 days because I wanted to get into the skin of the character, they are lying. You don't need to do that. That's not method acting. You want to do it for the experience of it, please do it. But don't say that you need to go and live in a cave because you are playing that kind of a character of a mountain climber or a cave dweller. You don't need to do that.
Right. So I think a very important point which you get across, I always think of what I learned from what you say, and also the people who are watching this program, is we always say live in the present moment.
Correct.
Right? So a student who's studying, he has to think about his studies, not think about what happened before, or not have the anxiety what's going to happen later. So for you being an artist, it's actually living in that moment and being there.
Yes.
Because unless you're there, you can't play the actor well, artist well, or whoever you're portraying well. And whatever happened in your day before that, good or bad, is gone. And whatever is going to happen tomorrow is also gone.
Control, yeah.
So it's like life.
Correct.
Actually, in reality, here it's a movie, but sometimes we are also told that life also is like a movie, and it's all about how you think and how you perceive.
It's a reflection of real life.
And then we always say that behind our day-to-day life, there's a conscience, and that conscience is watching, independent of what is happening to you.
True.
Much like an actor playing a character in a movie. So I think you all are actually yogis on screen.
Yeah.
Where you're living in the moment.
You know, I'm very blessed that I'm an actor and a director and a writer, because these are opportunities, as an actor, of being different people. And, you know, I play different roles. Some, like you said, sometimes funny, sometimes good, sometimes boy next door, sometimes negative. It's an escape of sorts for me. I didn't become an actor knowing that I was going to be an actor. I'm an accident actor. The moment I went on the set, I felt like I've been here forever. So it must be some past life connection, because I was going to go to Ann Arbor, Michigan to do my MBA. And my visa got rejected, and I came and became an actor. So I think it's also destiny. Currently, I'm in a phase, you have not asked me this question, but currently I feel that I'm here chatting with you because I am ready to go on to the next level of spirituality. I just felt that when I was in the car.
My God.
We've been planning for so long.
For so long,
and it's not happened.
But I'm really grateful that you said that.
Yes,
But actually, any conversation to do with spirituality, which you call satsang, right?
Ji.
Even a conversation like what we are having,
Right.
there's always things. It's karmic.
Correct.
It's that we are meant to be here talking about spirituality, and whatever we talk, if we are open, like we say, to the universe, I'm sure I'll gain a lot from what you're saying, and maybe something will gain what I'm saying.
I'm absolutely sure of that. And I was thinking in the car, I said, you know, why hasn't it happened 3, 4, 5 months now? We've been discussing why today, why this date, and I was in the middle of things. So I realized that there's, you know, obviously something is destined, something is going to kick off from here.
Yeah. So there's a universal force working in our favors when you want to do something good, and it has to happen at the right time, because whatever we are doing has to be the best.
Absolutely. Your students should also know that, you know, you mentioned about being anxious about tomorrow. There is no point being anxious about anything. Yeah. See, unless you have a medical condition, Gen Z and especially the Alpha generation, they use this word so loosely. You know, you got to be positive. You have to give positive affirmations, be positive in your manifestations about what you want. Don't say, I'm feeling anxious, even loosely. Oh, I'm so anxious, I've got an exam day after. Don't say that. I feel. You know?
So in times of extreme stress, let's say we all again have it at some point of time in our life, what would you do at that time? So you've got a lot of stress inside you. How would you try to overcome it? Like you talked about students in an exam.
I would do 2, 3 things.
Yeah.
And they're very, very simple things that you do this every day. The first and the topmost thing people don't give too much of credence to when you're younger, I would meditate. And by meditation, I'm going to be very clear about what I mean. I am not going to do some om jap and some mantra and all of that. I'll just sit in a corner, shut my eyes and breathe.
Right.
That's all I will do. I'll go to a corner, put the lights off, draw the drapes, and I will breathe. That's meditation. If that doesn't calm your mind, I will go to the pickleball court, beat the shit out of the balls, vent all my emotions there, and then finally, which I do, I will go and have a meal which is going to enrich my soul. I love food. I will go there because these are the things. So this is a three-pronged attack. You calm down, you vent your frustrations, whatever you're feeling anxious about, you let it leave your system, and then do something that makes you so happy. So it could be food, it could be playing with your child, it could be anything.
Yeah.
You know. But these are the three things I personally do, and it's always worked.
So amazingly put. Meditation, of course, is the most, what would I say, serene feeling you can get after it. Exercise, as you know, releases endorphins. Endorphins are feel happy hormones. And you just, I've always said this, you go to the gym, in the beginning you may be tired, fatigued, you may say, oh my God, it's a hard day.
Not today,
not today. But the moment you're there for 10 minutes, after like your smile starts coming, and then you leave the gym with like just a blissful smile. And that's what exercise does to you.
Yeah, exactly. And I will ask any human being on earth that have you gone to the gym and after that 10 minutes still want to go home? Nobody.
No, nobody. I agree with you.
It's impossible.
I agree with you. So they're very good. You have suggested, let's call it a three-prong approach.
Yeah.
It's a great one for, I think, students and everybody. That when they're stressed, exercise, vent it out, meditation, and then of course do whatever your passion is. You want to eat a healthy meal.
Yeah, a healthy meal. So. You want to eat an unhealthy meal, you do that also, because the one meal is not going to do anything to your system.
Absolutely. We also have cheat meals,
of course,
once in a while. So, according to you, in your day-to-day life, how would you start your day or end your day? Or I don't know, it's in the middle of the day, with what spiritual practices?
So, you might not call it spiritual, but this is what I do and it kind of helps me. I start and end my day with exactly the same thing, Hanuman Chalisa.
Oh, amazing.
I recite the Hanuman Chalisa in the morning and then I do it in the night before sleeping. There is no tangible difference that you can see, that there's no number you can put on it, right? But you start the day and I don't even get up. My eyes are closed and I'm in that zone and I've just woken up and I start chanting the Hanuman Chalisa. By the time I'm done, I'm already energized. It takes about 5 minutes to chant it properly, energized, and just before I'm going to bed, I put off all these gadgets and television and all of that, and again I chant and I go into deep sleep. Now somebody would say this is, you're just reciting a mantra. Fair enough. It is not spiritual. Fair enough. I don't want to argue with you. What it does to my spirituality, I know. How it changes so there are times when I come home really, really tired and I'm not being able to fall asleep. That happens, you know. Yeah. You had a long day at work, you've pushed yourself. Physically, we push ourselves every day. But that 5-7 minutes of meditation, doing Vipassana in the night and reciting the mantra, it gives me calm, peace, everything. So I don't know, I used to argue, okay, that's not being spiritual, but now I've seen the change.
So, religion and spirituality are considered different. Actually, they're the same, which could be any religion. Yeah. So, you talked about Hanuman Chalisa, which was written by Tulsidas. And of course, enough has been said about the power of the Hanuman Chalisa. Right. People do it for 40 times a day for 10 days, and something in their life changes. Things like that. What I've understood, which you got across very well, is that there is a sound vibration.
Correct.
There is a sound resonance. Yeah. So that spiritual essence of the divinity is kind of capsuled in that sound, which is done that way by a spiritual seer, in this case Tulsidas ji. Right. And when you chant that, it helps you have a direct connection with the divinity, right? And that's why that feeling of serenity, which we get even in meditation, comes even with that mantra. So ultimately there are two things, but they lead to the same zone, which is a state of bliss and direct connection. Deities are, of course, an expression of your thoughts, of what you believe in, and they all are there, they exist. But ultimately the source is unified, it's all one. So, and meditation is one, Hanumanji, Krishna, Ram
Right.
are many, but they're all coming to the same universal spirit.
Let me ask you, what is your idea of spirituality? Since this is satsang, it has to flow both ways.
Of course, yeah, you're most welcome to ask all questions. So, of course, spiritual practices are important. I believe every day there should be some seva where you do something for somebody, which could be not only a poor person, but could be your parents, your friend, whoever, something good to help, which is selfless. Maybe that person's feeling bad, make him feel good, make him feel happier by talking something. That's seva. Sadhana is basically your practices. So I meditate twice a day. And satsang is what we are doing.
Right.
That's something which is more meaningful than the mundane. It could just be about life. You don't have to talk about God and divinity. You can talk about life and how to make it more meaningful.
Right.
So I think integrating these three parts for me are very important. Second, I also believe that a lot of our thoughts which we get entangled in are transitory. They were not there, they'll not be there.
They will.
So we have to realize the transitoriness of most of our worries or thoughts which we are sticking on. And we also need to go to that thing which is beyond these thoughts. When we are in deep sleep, you still exist. There are no thoughts. Who exists? That's you. That's what we call divinity, Atma, Paramatma. So that same thing is there even when we are awake. So we are thinking through our senses, oh, I've got this problem, I've got that problem, this is hassling me. But that thing within, which is in deep sleep, is still there. And if you identify with that divinity, then the calmness comes back. Then those thoughts will just kind of calm down. So I think these two things are important in spirituality.
Excellent.
One
Good
is
point.
practices, the first three. And second is on a day-to-day basis, in your active day-to-day life, always try and come back to level that I'm beyond.
Good. Thanks. So, seva, sadhana and
Satsang.
Satsang. Seva, sadhana and satsang.
Satsang could be a group or even
Or
between two
even
people.
solo
Yeah.
sitting with a friend chatting about good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's
Good.
That's,
That's
how it is.
superb.
Okay, so now we come to segment 2, which is Soul Gyan. And that is basically our book Soul Science, which the students learn.
Right.
We pick up a statement from there and we
Okay.
both give our thoughts onto
Oh,
what that statement means to
nice.
us.
Okay,
right?
lovely.
So,
This is that book.
yeah, that's that book. I can turn to that page. Is it marked? Yeah, here. Yeah, okay, so that's the thing. If we see, they have, so what they do basically, they have a chapter and then they have exercises, right?
Okay, and then they write their own
then they
notes.
write what is a gyan, soul gyan means like a sentence, and what does it mean to you? So what they've told us is confidence is trusting in our abilities.
Right. Confidence is trusting. This is a very good one. This is very close to my mantra in life.
Right.
So, is this really what came up, or have you written it yourself?
It's just,
So
you
this
know,
is what-
honestly, I've not even seen what has come up. It has been put in
So,
front
Yash,
of me and
I
I'm
must
reading
tell
it now.
you, in my life, whatever highs and lows I've been through, all my friends and my family always say this one thing, that Rohit, your attitude towards life has never changed even when you're going through the lowest phases in your career.
Yeah.
Because I'm confident of my abilities. I'm confident that I have what it needs. I have everything that it takes to do what I'm doing professionally.
And you know, I can see it because you speak so well.
Right.
With your confidence. I mean, everything you say is like with so much conviction and
Yeah.
with ease. And of course, I've talked to you, but when I'm sitting across on a chair, you're
Right.
like amazing the way you flow into a conversation. So that's confidence.
Yeah, so for me, I've always been very confident of the wares I'm selling. You know, the moment there have been times, of course, where you've questioned yourself that why certain things are not happening. But I have never questioned my ability to do it.
Right.
There are times when I tell God, I say, God, again, it boils down to that. You've given me so much talent that means I'm confident of my ability.
Yeah.
Why are you not giving me that particular role? You know, when you're growing up, you see your guy, he's like, "Yaar, he's getting that role, why I'm not, I'm more equipped." But there is a difference. I'd like to tell your students, it's very, very good and essential in life to be confident. There is a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. Like there is between bravery and bravado. Be brave, but don't be foolhardy enough to believe that your talent is more than what you really have. Look into the mirror every morning and ask yourself, is this what I'm equipped to do? Then you can keep improving in that. You know, from scale of 1 to 10, you go from 3 to 6, 7 to 9 to 10. Maybe, you know, of course, I don't believe in perfection. I believe in excellence. But I feel that the braver you are, the more confident you are, it will never leave your system.
Right.
Tomorrow you might have a low, you know, who knows, yeah? You might be, I only pray to God for one thing, that don't give me such shocks in life. Baki chote challenges I'll keep facing, and I'm like my daughter, and I'll say this to everybody, make sure that your kid, especially if she's a girl, treat her like a warrior. Make sure that she grows up to be a warrior, not your princess.
Amazing.
This thing about being, oh, she's my princess. Of course, I feel love for her like every father will. But she should grow up like a warrior. Anything that comes her way, she'll say, so I've never prayed that God give her a charmed life. No, never. I keep having this constant discussion with my wife, and she says, I want my daughter to have a charmed life. I said, you know, I want her to be strong enough to face anything that comes her way in life. So that's again about bravery, about confidence, all of that.
I actually love what you just said.
Yeah.
And actually, I've not looked at it that way because I love my daughter and I pamper her a lot. But I have got a new perspective now, and I'm going to go and repeat this to her when I meet her after this. No, it's amazing actually.
We all
and I know why you say it, because ultimately the world there is different from what we are with their daughters. So we have to realize that they have to be happy in the real world.
In the real world.
And sometimes by treating them as a princess, they don't know what the real world is.
You're not getting them ready for what's out there.
I know.
Of course, I pamper my daughter like every father.
Yeah,
our be all and end all is our daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like everything for us.
Yeah,
I know.
everything.
I know what you mean. Okay, great, Rohit. So we come to the final segment, which is like whatever, rapid fire round,
oh my God.
chat.
How can you do a rapid fire about spirituality?
That's why we call it a soul chat.
Okay, it's a soul chat. Okay, let me try.
Which is just questions and like one line or two line answers. Point one, I'll start with point one. What does soul science mean to you in one word?
State of happiness.
Great. One place that brings you instant peace.
You know, believe it or not, even today, even now when I'm 50 years old, my mother's hug.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's quite
That's for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
The special place of a mother in everyone's life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling like crap, and she's lying on bed reading something, and I just go and lie down next to her, and all my worries just dissipate.
So that's a great one for students, I think. Parents, especially mothers, is the only form of love which is pure, selfless, and eternal. So respect to your mother and your parents is one of the first things we must all cherish,
that is the
love,
biggest
and practice.
Biggest thing.
Thank you. That's a really good advice in your rapid fire soul science. I had to elaborate because such a beautiful thing you said.
Thank you.
What's the most unexpected benefit you've experienced from your spiritual journey?
So I don't know whether I can call it unexpected, but what I wasn't a very worrying sort earlier before I started on the journey, but now I have zero worries. So there is a difference because I got this very strong line which I've told my daughter also. Worrying is an insult to God.
Amazing.
You know, why worry? So that's why I tell the young kids, don't be anxious about what's going to happen after your exams. If you're going to prepare well for your exams, your outcome is going to be good. For some reason, if it is not good, it's not in your hands right now. What's in your hand is to prep for your exams. That's it, study. Worrying is an insult to God. So I think Vipassana kind of helped me overcome whatever little bit of worries that I might have had, you know, because for a career, everybody worries. Yeah? The highs and lows, and the lows you're always questioning, kya ho raha hai, kyun ho raha hai? So I think that is one thing I got.
Amazing. I must say that's also great, what should I say, advice for the youth. Where the worries are actually of no use. In fact, it deters you or puts you behind. What's one thing that instantly uplifts your energy?
Now from my mother, I have to go to my daughter. If I see my daughter running towards me with a smile and jumping onto my lap, there is no other feeling which even remotely compares to what I feel at that time.
Oh,
Nothing.
I can say same here.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. I
something.
know. I mean,
So
we
it's the-
are dads and
So
we're
here,
doting dads.
so what a lovely thing. You're talking about the beauty of the female energy in our
Yes.
lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mother and daughter. And that's why in India we worship the goddess.
Ma Shakti. Yeah.
So that's an amazing respect to
Yeah.
women.
I mean, they are much stronger than the supposedly stronger sex.
Absolutely right. What's your go-to workout when you have only 15 minutes?
15 minutes. So, I would do a circuit. When I don't have enough time, I will just go and bang out a few sets on every equipment that is there. And 15-20 minutes I'm finished and I'm out of there. That's the only thing that works.
Lovely. Well said. What's one small fitness habit that has made a big difference in your life?
Sleep.
Very true.
People don't think about it as this thing, but it's sleep, yeah. Just sleep.
Amazing. Yeah, and you need good sleep to recover.
Yeah, to recover.
And for your body, whatever you worked
absolutely.
out for it to build.
Internal and external.
Yeah, well said. If you could take acting lessons from any actor, past or present, who would it be?
I think Irfan Khan.
Amazing.
Because, I've always been from the very beginning a very stylized actor.
Yeah.
And he was as natural as you get. And even
Right.
though his performances were different
Yeah.
in all the films, there was always that natural ease. It looked like we are talking. Like Yash and Rohit are sitting and chatting. It didn't look like he's acting. That's something that I would have loved to learn from him.
Amazing. If your life were a movie, what would the title be?
Oh, good one. If my life was a movie, what would it be? Top Gun.
Wow.
Top Gun. Always keeps soaring.
Amazing.
Always.
Amazing. The
Yeah.
Tom Cruise movie, which
Yeah,
can be
I've
used
seen
as
it
a
some
life
27
lesson.
times, man. You remember we used to have those Blu-ray discs at that time. It
of
just come
course,
out.
of course.
Oh my God, 27
The
times.
recent one came, no? Part
Yeah,
2.
yeah, Maverick.
What's your favorite movie or play that deeply inspired you and why?
I don't really think any movie has inspired me in real life to do anything different, but a movie inspired me to become a much better actor in the sense that I wanted to dive deeper into my roles. Is a film called Scent of a Woman, Al Pacino,
Yeah.
and he played a blind man there, and that to a army veteran. And the kind of performance that he put in, I think he won the Academy Award for that, made me feel, what are we doing? I mean, you have to go so deep into a role. Not every role requires that, but I think that inspired me to be a better version of myself as an actor.
Amazing. So there is some questions from the audience and the schools.
Sure.
Has playing different characters helped you understand yourself better? How do you balance your creative side along with staying calm and grounded? And that's a question from our school in Latur,
Okay.
Birla Open Mind School in Latur.
So, obviously playing different roles kind of gives you different perspectives about different situations in your life. But having said that, like I said, I mean, every role kind of leaves some sort of an impression on you. Whether that changed me as a person, maybe I need to deep dive into it to understand what difference it makes. It just is a form, for me, being an actor is a form of escape. There's no drudgery. There's no boredom. You're playing different. That's why I've never played a similar role in any subsequent film of mine or television show. I've not done too much work, and people keep saying, why aren't you doing more? Because in our industry, the moment you give a hit film or a hit show, they come to you with similar roles, and I don't do it. And I didn't do it. I mean, Shootout at Lokhandwala was a rollicking hit, and the next 5 years, I only got roles like that. I didn't pick up even one. So one might say that, you lost out on a lot of good work. Maybe, yeah. But I don't want to go to set thinking, oh God, I'm going to do the same thing again. So yeah, just maybe it inspires me to do different stuff.
Amazing. Next question from Birla Open Minds International School, Gwalior. How do you handle being nervous before any important scene?
Okay, so this might seem very vain to you.
It doesn't happen.
No, it happens. It happens. It happens. There is no time when I've gone onto stage or any other actor and you've not felt nervous.
Yeah.
There is no actor, however great, who has not felt nervous before the first shot of a first film.
Right.
Ever. I have a very simple mantra, and I am not supposed to say this, but since this is your show, I'm going to say it. In my mind, I walk into a room and there are, say, dignitaries from all over the world, maybe presidents and leaders and all that. I walk into that room and in my mind, there's only one line. Mubarak ho, hum aaye hain.
Oh, amazing.
That's my
well
line.
said.
That my confidence,
That's too good.
soars. I said, bro, you're lucky I'm here. So whether it's vanity or I don't know what, but before every show, of course, I meditate and pray that the show goes well. But before I go into the audience, I look at them from behind the curtains and I say, Mubarak ho hum aaye.
Amazing.
There's a whole
I
thing
don't
to
think it's
say.
vanity. I think it's confidence in
Just
yourself.
kind of building your confidence,
It's confidence, not building. I think it's there, and you're actually exemplifying it
right? Yeah.
by saying that. Well done, bro. That's great. I'm sure they'll be inspired themselves to hear your answers.
Yeah, they should. You should be
And
confident.
the rest of the interview as well. It was
Yeah.
brilliant. Everything you said is perfect, Rohit.
Thank you.
And I just loved the entire conversation.
It's always so good
And
to chat with you, Yash. You know, before you end this, I want to say something to you. Every time I met you, whether it's at a party or when you came on my show or here, there is a certain amount of positivity which you're not trying to exude, but it comes out naturally from every pore of your being.
That's so kind. That
And,
makes
you
my
know,
day,
it's
but it's
super.
likewise, bro.
Thank you.
Absolutely likewise. Really lots to learn from you as well.
Good to see you.
Thank
Good
you,
to
man.
see you.
Thank
We
you.
should do a part 2 of this after the kids see it.
We'll do it for the university
Yes,
students
we
next.
will do that.